What happens when a watch brand makes a move so bold it almost kills them, and then somehow becomes one of the most iconic names in luxury because of it? Audemars Piguet isn't just a brand, it's a paradox, quietly nestled in a sleepy Swiss village, yet worn by some of the loudest, most influential people on earth. But what most people don't know is that AP nearly collapsed in the 1970s, but was saved by a single radical watch. This is the story of rebellion, reinvention, and the unexpected masterpiece that changed the watchmaking world forever. Long before the glitz of celebrity endorsements, Audemars Piguet was just two men, Jules-Louis Audemars and Edward Auguste Piguet, founded in a remote village in a Swiss valley called Les Brassus. Their mission was simple: create high complications by hand for the most discerning clients in the world. They weren't interested in mass production, and they weren't chasing trends. Their early pocket watches featured perpetual calendars, tourbillons, and minute repeaters, but with a level of complexity that only a few ateliers on Earth could match. But this traditional approach would soon be tested by a crisis that shook the entire Swiss watch industry. By the late 1960s, a new technology was emerging from Japan: quartz, cheaper, more accurate, mass-producible. And for the Swiss watch industry, it was devastating. Thousands of jobs were lost. Historic maisons started closing their doors. And Audemars Piguet, well, they were at a crossroads. They had the heritage, they had the craftsmanship, but if they didn't adapt, they'd be extinct. And so, they bet everything on a watch that was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Enter Gerald Genta. In 1971, AP approached him with a desperate request: redefine what a stainless steel luxury sports watch is. And he did. And the more remarkable thing is, he did this right at the last minute. With 12 hours to spare, he drew the AP Royal Oak overnight. The design was shocking. Octagonal bezel with 8 screws, integrated bracelet, industrial, architectural, unapologetically bold. At its launch in 1972, it cost more than a gold Patek Philippe. Critics laughed, retailers hesitated, and collectors were confused. But Audemars Piguet didn't blink, and slowly, something remarkable started to happen. The Royal Oak started to gain traction, not due to its rebellion, but because of it. Steel could be prestigious if executed with artistry and restraint. Sports watches could be elegant, thin, finely finished. The Royal Oak was unlike anything ever seen before. Hand-polished bezels, brushed finishes, seamless integration. And even its movement, the caliber 2121, was a mechanical achievement. This wasn't just a watch, this was architecture for the wrist. And slowly, the world caught on. Over the decades, AP didn't just sit on a single model. They evolved the Royal Oak into a whole collection. Starting in 1993, let's talk about the Royal Oak Offshore. They decided to make it AP's bigger, more sportier, older brother. Bigger cases, more sporty, more waterproof, and they used materials like rubber on the AP rubber clad. Incredible watches. They've made ones like the Beast and the Brick, huge big watches which rappers were a big fan of. They're not as popular today, but still incredible watches. And then you talk about the AP Royal Oak concept line. The first Royal Oak concept, what a mind-blowing piece that was. Take a look at that and all the concepts for today. My favorite is the AP Concept Southeast Asia edition, but there's been so many over recent years. You've seen the Marvel editions, the Black Panther and the Spider-Man. They've been super popular too. And then we have to talk about some of the more haute horology pieces. They have the AP Royal Oak Petite Sonnerie, which is basically a minute repeater. And then we have the skeleton, which is personally my favorite, perpetual calendar. They've now started making ultra-thin skeletons or ultra-thin perpetual calendars. AP has innovated the Royal Oak more than innovation itself. It's absolutely incredible to see all what they've done with the Royal Oak over the years, ever since its launch in 1972. Today, Audemars Piguet is part of the Holy Trinity of watchmaking, alongside Patek Philippe and Vacheron Constantin. These are essentially the 3 best and most historical watch brands in the world. But what sets them apart is their spirit of rebellion. They remain independent, still family owned, after 150 years. They control the production. Everything is done in-house, from case polishing to movement assembly, everything in the AP factory in Les Brassus. And they take artistic risks, collaborating with musicians, artists, and even releasing the controversial editions, such as the AP Black Panther. To some, it's polarizing, but to their audience, it's refreshing. AP doesn't just respect tradition, they challenge it. Look at the risks of entrepreneurs, musicians, and athletes, and you'll see Audemars Piguet, but not just because of hype, because AP offers something different. Prestige without pretension. And that is why people like LeBron James, Mark Zuckerberg, and John Mayer have all been seen wearing these incredible pieces. Yes, the design is bold, but perceive that steel case. It's the rare combination of edge and elegance. AP isn't slowing down. They recently opened their futuristic museum, Musée Atelier Audemars Piguet, a spiral-shaped building in the hills of Les Brassus. And they've recently launched new movements entirely in-house, of course. And they've embraced direct-to-consumer retail, opening incredible boutiques in major cities, cutting out traditional channels. But one thing remains the same, and that is independence. The independence to risk, to create, to dare, to dream. So, how did Audemars Piguet become a giant in the world of horology? By doing what others wouldn't. When the world went quartz, they doubled down on mechanical. When luxury meant gold, they embraced stainless steel. When others played safe, they pushed the boundaries. They've proven that great watchmaking isn't just about tradition. It's about vision, precision, and the courage to evolve. In a world full of fast trends, Audemars Piguet chooses to build something that lasts. And that is timeless. So that was the history of Audemars Piguet and one of the most iconic watches of all time. This here, the Royal Oak, it's one of my favorite all-time watches. That's really is the reason that I got into the love of watches. But that's just me. I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about the Royal Oak? Did you learn anything new today? Let me know in the comments below. Would you like to see this about any other brand? I'd love to hear from you. And if you like that video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. See you next time.